everybody. It is Mia. I am here today. It's a little bit of a different camera setup, so it took me a little bit longer to create this setup than I thought, but hopefully it will work, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. I might go live later on tonight with a chalk project, but I just figured maybe this would actually kind of be an interesting thing for anybody who doesn't know this about me. But before I got into Chalk Couture, I was sewing little kids' clothes and burp cloths and baby clothes and that sort of a thing as an outlet and a thing that I did at like farmers markets and sold in a boutique and that sort of a thing. And I love sewing, but it takes up a little bit more time than chalking does. So chalking kind of was a really great outlet for me later on to have that outlet. And then I just kind of did more chalking than sewing. So I haven't sewn in a couple of years. So this should be quite interesting. It's kind of like riding a bike, but there are some things that you kind of forget. So I sewed one last night. A face mask. So we're going to sew these little face masks. The local hospital has been asking sewers to donate some face masks. And if you're here, please say hello for non-critical units. Now, in no way are these face masks substitute for medical face masks or N95 face masks, but they do help for people with asthma, or if they're dealing with, if the doctors and stuff are just dealing with people with just regular COVID-19 symptoms, it just helps give a little bit extra protection. And so anyway, so that's why we're doing it. They're in desperate need. So a couple of us at the boutique sew, so we thought we would whip out our sewing machines, and I have tons of fabric. And so we just figured we'd give it a go. But anyways, yeah, so I used to sew. I have not sewn in years, so this should be lots of fun. Let me make sure my camera here. I've got one camera I'm going to turn facing my sewing machine so you guys can kind of see it as I do it. If you have any questions, just holler and let me know. But let me get a few things set up, and then we're going to start sewing so I can show you guys how I do this. Now, I am doing a very basic mask, okay? I am trying to do the pleated ones. This is one that I did last night because I heard that the pediatric units don't have any, and this was just such a cute fabric that I had from when I used to make burp cloths. And then the back side is just a different pattern. So I did do the pleats in this one, not so well as I would have liked, but they are there. So maybe when I make another one, and so what it does is it goes over, and they're washable. And so maybe when I make my next one, my pleats will be a little bit better. But people have been making them with pleats and without pleats, so I figured it's going to work regardless. Hey, Suzanne, how are you? Okay, so we are sewing face masks. So let me get this set up. Or not we, I. But Suzanne, who's on here watching, she's also sewing them. And let's see here. Oh no, you know what? Let's go. Hi, Amy, how are you? I am actually working from home today, so I thought I'd take a little break and sew some face masks. A little bit different than my typical chalking, but hey, All right, guys, I'm sorry. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to try to share this on the Simply Vintage page because we are in need of donations for things as well. So for some reason I'm not getting, why is this is on my Chalk with Mia page, right? I can't seem to, oh, there's the scroll down. Okay, I was gonna say it's not scrolling down for me. It's not letting me choose Simply Vintage. Sewing face masks. What is everybody else doing today? If you could sprinkle the love, I would appreciate it. We have a post needing donations. Oops, it would help if I could spell. See, I would do this before I go live, but the problem is I can't because you have to be live in order to share it. So, fabrics, etc. See. Hello, how are you? In our posts. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, we are going to, all right, so we're going to get started. Let me, okay, now you can see me up in the right hand corner maybe, and hopefully you can see my sewing machine, which I am going to, do you pronounce your name McDad? McDad Jasmine. I am here. Hey, Amanda, how are you? All right, so we need, now I do have some, gosh, it's already escaped me, the middle piece that some people have been including. I have not always done that because I want to be able to wash them and stuff. So I have this print, super cute, right? Little flowers, and it's got kind of a burnt orange background. I like doing two different colors, or two different fabrics. And then I have this fabric, which has bird cages and little birdies on them, which are so cute. Okay, so I need 2 pieces, and the dimensions have been varying a little bit, but I am gonna do 7 by 9 because that's most of what adult sizes are. There are some kid sizes as well, which I'll make some of those later, but this will, and look, my Chalk Couture self-healing mat is perfect for this because I can line it up and cut, which is great. Okay, I also have my Cricut, let me turn that on, my Cricut heat press, which is kind of large, but it'll work for this. I'm doing it with my toes because it's under my desk. Okay, so we're going to turn that on so I can end up heating this up. All right, so 7 by 9. So here's the 9-inch. And here is the 7 mark. Okay. So the great thing about patterned fabrics is you can find a spot, like I'm cutting right in between these little bird houses. That tells me I'm on the 9. Which is nice. And then for the 7, I'm right on the, cutting off just the little top of the birdhouses. So that's what I always loved about using patterned fabrics or something with a design on it, because it helped you cut a straight line. Okay, so now we're going to put all this excess fabric to the side because I can make several face masks from this. I mean, you guys, this is just a little bit of the fabric. I have like a couple of bags full of fabric from when I made children's clothes. Now, some of them are not appropriate for this. They like for you to use cotton, 100% cotton. If you're not sure if your fabric is 100% of the cotton, you can hold it up to the light. If you cannot see through it, then that will tell you that you've got the nice threaded cotton. All right, so I am 7 by 9. Let me get my iron here. Okay. Hey, Stephen, how are you? Look, so we're just going to do this really quick, get some of those seams out. Right? Now, you guys are going to have to bear with me because, like I said, this is like riding a bike. I have not sewn anything, gosh, in years. Ever since I've been doing Chalk Couture, and I've been doing Chalk Couture. This September, it'll be 3 years. So, woo! It's been a while. All right, so then we also need some elastic. We need 7 inches. Now, I do have a little bit of elastic here. So we need about 7 inches of elastic. And there's 2 different ways we could do the elastic. We can sew it and pull it in. The way I'm doing it is a little bit more difficult. It's just, but it's a common way that people have been doing it. Well, actually, either way takes about the same amount of time. Okay, so what you want to do first, hey, Christy Lynn. Okay, so you want to take, I've got my 2 pieces of fabric, right? You want to take and put them, Oh, I see the birdies are going in both directions, so it doesn't really matter. All right, put them so that the part you want to see on the mask, right? I want to see this, and I want to see this side, right? So you're going to put the outside pieces facing in. You want them touching each other, see? So I've got this, and they're now facing in. Okay, so for the elastic pieces, okay, what you're going to do is I'm going to find around, let's see here, around the 6-inch mark. Whoops, you're going to actually fold them inside. So around here, and then you're going to make it so it loops around, because this is how, when we sew them, we're going to pull it inside out. So basically you're putting everything on the inside, because when you pull it all out, it will sit on the outside, if that makes any sense. Hi, Sherry. But if you guys are like me, I am not spatially knowledgeable. So there's so many times when I would be sewing and I would tell my husband, how do I make it so that it turns this way when I'm done, or that way? And he would have to help me, honestly, figure out spatially how to lay something out, because I just don't have that mind. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm putting a little pin where the elastic is, because I don't want it to move when I'm sewing. I want them to stay. All right, and then I'm going to come over here, and I was about at the 6-inch and the 2-inch on my mat. So I am going to do about the same here and lay this so that it's not twisted. Okay, this is probably the hardest part of this. This is why I said this one's a little bit harder, because it helps, you know, because you have to hold it with both hands and pin it. So that your elastic doesn't move. Okay, so that's pinned, and then I can pin this one. I can pick this one up and pin it. Ow! I just stuck myself. There you go, guys. So there's your first sewing mistake. Okay. So, you get it, so. All right, so I've got my elastic pinned on the inside. If I wanted to, I could put pins all the way around the edging, but I don't need to. Those pins are kind of keeping it in place. I'm not too worried about it. What I'm gonna wanna do is leave about a 2-inch gap somewhere on the top or the bottom so that I can pull it through in just a minute. So I need to remember that. That was one of the things I almost forgot last night when I was sewing. I was just go, 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 and completely forgot. Now I've got 2 little threads. You guys can't see them, but white and like a teal. The teal one's the underside thread, so I'm not too concerned about that. You're gonna put your foot down here. Whoops, let me make sure I've got all my threads being pulled out. Okay. Put the foot down, and make sure you guys can see. Yeah, you can. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see okay from my camera view. It looks like it's working. If you guys could sprinkle the love if you like, that would be amazing. Let me get this moved over. Because I shared it to another page, I probably need to answer that page. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I'm answering any comments on that page too if I need to. All right, so once we get going, it's going to go fairly quickly. And if you're on the Simply Vintage page, we actually have a list of needed supplies to continue making these, because as us sewers and crafters, we do have some, but we're, you know, we only have a limited supply, and I know Joann Fabrics and all those stores are starting to sell out of stuff. So anyways, here we go. So we're going to start sewing forward. Anytime you start a stitch, you want to go forward and then go back, because it kind of helps start, gives you a nice strong seam to start with. And then I just hold it, and we get to the edge here. Okay, I'm going to lift my foot and rotate my material because I don't need to start a new stitch. I'm just going to go right on down this line. Now, when I hit that elastic part, where I go over that elastic piece that we put in there, I'm going to want to go into reverse and back forward. I want to add a little bit extra strength there just to make sure that it doesn't pop out, okay? All right, and then we're going to keep on going. There's another elastic piece. I'm going to go back and forth. And I'm just doing, to be honest with you, a basic stitch here. You could do a zigzag stitch. You could do, gosh, there's so many different types of stitches, but I just do a basic straight on stitch. Okay. If you guys, again, if you have any questions, please holler. I've already disclosed that I understand this is not a medical grade mask, nor should it be substituted for one, or, you know, or anything, but the hospitals here locally are asking for donations. So that's what a couple of us at the boutique are doing. We're doing our part. Oops, that one slipped on me. I could see the, okay, hold on. Apparently I did not, I did not tack down. Apparently I pinned just the fabric. All right, let's see if I can fix that. Since I'm here, I can almost just hold it. But... All right, again, we just went back and forth on it. This one's okay down here. Okay. I'm just going to situate this to make sure it's there. Make sure you don't sew over top of your pins. That's probably why it moved, because I had it so far back. I'm going to pull these pins out though, because we are done with that section. While I'm thinking about it. That way when I pull and reverse it, I don't have the pins just sitting there. Hey Donna, how are you? Okay. Lift my pedal, turn my fabric. Now remember, I'm on my fourth side, so I'm gonna wanna stop before I get, maybe leave like a 2-inch gap or so, because I'm gonna wanna leave a pocket so that I can reverse it, so I can pull them inside out. Okay. And there we go. I do forwards and backwards again right before I end. So lift my needle, pull a little bit of it out, cut my thread, and I leave a little enough of a thread tail so I can pull it around the back. Okay, so let me move my sewing machine out of the way again so you guys can see this. Oh, hey Kimberly, thank you. Okay, so a little trick that I learned a long time ago. I take all of the corners. Let me make sure, spatial skills again, people. See, this is what I was telling you, I have no spatial skills. Okay, so I take the corners and you want to snip them and make them angled, because when I reverse it inside out, it's going to help point out those ends for me. Don't ask me why, it just does. Just make sure that you don't cut your thread there on the corners. Okay, ooh, these scissors are dulled. I need to, let me get my other scissors. These are a little bit. Okay, so I find that area where I left that little gap, right? So we have the little gap here, okay? All right, and we are just going to push all of that fabric through that hole, and we're just going to make it inside out. See, and here's our elastic piece. All right, now for the corners, if your finger is not working, another little trick, take a pencil and just poke those, poke those corners out. See, it's kind of helping. And then you get that corner. But you can use anything pointed, anything to help. Your finger helps. If your finger's not really getting that last little corner piece out, then certainly use a pencil or something, a crochet hook. The end of a crochet hook would probably help. Oops, sorry guys, I keep missing. Okay, So now I've got this little gap here, right? We just want to tuck the fabric inside, okay? We're just going to tuck it inside, and then I'm going to re-iron, because if I iron it, it's going to push it flat and help that fabric sit on the inside. All right, so let me get my heat press back. Keeps cutting off on me, hold on. All right, so we just need enough heat. Make sure that it's all sitting inside. I want to create that crease so that that fabric does not want to pop back out, okay? And it's helping flatten it out. Okay, so two different ways that people have, and see, here's those elastic pieces. Remember we said we put them on the inside and pin them, so now they're on the outside. So there's two different ways that people have been making these face masks. At this point, some people have been doing what they call a top stitch, and they would stitch all the way around the outside of this mask and literally just make it just a very basic, easy mask, okay, which is perfectly fine. Those work just as well. Some people have been, let me go down further, have been creating these little creases, and I want to try it. I tried it on it last night, but to be honest, it did not work as well as I thought. It added a little bit of a crease, but not a huge crease. So I kind of want to just try it again. So you guys are going to be guinea pigs with me, and we need to pin again. So, and I think what happened to me is I didn't fold it enough, and I didn't sew it inside enough, like inside the mask enough, because the seam was too close to the edge, and therefore, I don't know, it just didn't hold it as well, I think. So I'm literally just folding. I'm not really measuring. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. Because when somebody puts it on, it's going to kind of pull it out anyways. So as long as it's within reason. Let's see here. I think, nope, those are too big because I need 3. So let me pull these back out. Let me see if I had... People were saying about 1/2 inch. So here we go. If I do, oh, I was doing much more than that. Is that about 1/2 inch? Maybe I will measure. See, learning as we go. Yeah. I was doing like a full inch. Okay. And you can iron at this point too to include the pleats. That can help, most certainly. But I'm just going to pin it right now. Okay, so we have 1 pleat, and there's about 3 of them you want to do. Okay, let's see here. Let's do another one about right here. Let's see how that one does. Okay, everybody else doing okay? You guys still with me? This is kind of a little bit of the tedious part. So you guys can see when I used to make children's clothes and even burp cloths, they can take quite a while. And unfortunately, you know, that drives the price up because, you know, we are crafting and it takes a bit of time. And most of the time, and fabric can be expensive. So it was hard making a whole lot of money at it, to be honest with you. Not even a whole lot of money, just money. Okay, so if I've got those 2, I need 1 more pleat. Like so, maybe? Let's see how this turns out. I don't know. Like I said, I am not a spatial. So this is what's kind of funny about me. I do not sew from patterns because I can't read them. I don't know how to read a pattern. I literally sew from YouTube videos. I taught myself completely on YouTube videos. In fact, hey, Julie. So Julie, you'll get a kick out of this. So when I went to go sew, one of my girlfriends had a little girl. I have a little boy. And little girls just have the cutest little clothes. And I had come across a video on Hobby Lobby on how to make pillowcase dresses. And they were the cutest little things, and they made it look so easy. And I had a sewing machine from my mother, and I was like, I'm gonna sew a pillowcase dress for my friend's little girl. And my husband looked at me and was like, you don't sew. And I was like, oh, it can't be that hard. So I pull it out, I look at it, and I was pushing stuff through, and it wasn't stitching. And I was like, what is going on? And so you guys know I love you because I'm sharing these embarrassing stories. And so my husband was like, well, did you put the bobbin in? And I was like, what the heck is a bobbin? Yeah. So from that, I started watching YouTube videos. I started just really hunkering down and figuring out. And then it was like I could not stop sewing. Oh my gosh. I started making dresses and shorts and beyond pillowcase dresses and just a lot of fun things. And so anywho, so that was kind of the evolution of me learning how to sew. And I got pretty good at it, to be honest. I was making reversible dresses, but obviously, like I said, time and cost of fabric and cost of time, it made it very hard to keep doing it. And once I found Chalk Couture, well, then my world was just done because, you know, I could have a creative outlet and do it, you know, all the time. Okay, that seam is a little crooked. I'm going to admit that is a little crooked. But we're going to keep going here because, like I said, I'm donating them. And as long as, you know, it's not completely wonky, we'll be okay. Oops, I've got a pin here. Hold on, I wasn't thinking about that pin going that way. I'm just going to hold it. Okay, we're going to spin. I lost my plate because I pulled the pin out. There we go. Okay, here we go. I'm holding all this down. Again, I went over that elastic piece. I want to double back. I know, Julie, you're probably cringing. Julie is a master sewer. and I am not. Kind of a thick piece there. I should probably have a thicker needle, but that's okay. All right, we're going to pull these needles out. I know. What's a bobbin? And it was kind of funny that my husband knew what a bobbin was because he grew up with a mother who sewed a lot. My mother sewed, actually, and I did take sewing classes when I was little, but I didn't retain any of it. And so my husband showed me how to thread the machine and put the bobbin in, and then YouTube from there. So, yeah, too funny. All right, I don't know how these creases are going to work, ladies, but because like I said, it's been several years. Oh my gosh. Back and forth here. Okay, let's pull this off and see how it turns out, you guys. I'm so not a master seamstress. Oh, well, sewer. I always say, people always used to ask me, can you be a seamstress for when I was like, oh no, that's a whole nother talent. Like, no. Not happening. Okay, I did miss something here. Let's see here. Oh, all right. I'm going to actually undo this little seam and redo it because where I lost that pin earlier, it did not. I don't know why it's not grabbing like the other. All right, hold on. Bear with me, guys. We're going to undo a little bit of thread here. I don't have my seam ripper on me. So we are going to hopefully do this with some scissors. I just need to fix a little area. It's where I lost that pin. We were doing so well until I lost the pin. I had put it in the line of my sewing. There we go. Okay, so let me re-sew that area. And then I will show this to you guys. Hopefully, they're a little off, but hopefully I will get better with each one. And if not, then I will just be sewing them without the creases. But I loved the creases, so I'm trying to go back in line with what I had. Okay. All right, and as all good sewers, one of the first lessons you learn is to cut off all your little tails so that you don't have all these little thread tails sitting out there. Okay, you guys. And I will do a look for all the rest of the little tails here shortly. But I can show you guys. So we've been on 30 minutes and I've talked a lot, but here it is. Here's our face mask, front, and then little birdies and cages on the back side. So you can see I'm a little crooked up here. Depends if I iron it, it would be perfect. But, all right, here we go. So you guys can see I will wash them. But here you go. So now we have a cute little face mask that will fit, and it's completely reversible. So they can choose whatever side they want. If you don't have elastic, you can actually use the elastic headbands. A lot of people are using those. You can use bias, you can use ribbon, you can use fabric, and then just make it so they tie around the back side. But a lot of ideas. So anyways, so that's it. That's our face mask, you guys. It's here. Whoops, here. So just thought I would try to help. This is the one I did last night. As you guys can see, my pleats were even worse. So we are getting better. We're getting better. But this will be a nice big one, and for the peds department, because it has the cute little sayings all over it. Okay, everybody, I just thought I would let you into a little bit of my day. Of my day and what's going on here. I appreciate your feedback and you guys joining me for this 30 minutes. I greatly appreciate it. Again, if you are local to the Hampton Roads area, Simply Vintage, there's 3 of us sewing face masks for the local community and hospitals and such. And if you have any extra elastic or cotton fabric or anything like that, there's a whole list on the website, on our Facebook site, where I'm sharing this video right now. So if you just scroll down, you'll see the donation list that we're looking for. We are trying to get these things done. So thank you, everybody. I hope you stay safe. If you are interested in joining my VIP group, just type VIB in the comments. For non-designers, or if you want to receive text notifications from me when I'm going to go live. Every now and then I do these lives that are not Chalk Couture related, but most of the time it is. So anyways, I hope you guys have a happy and safe weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.